Hello. Hello, ladies. Okay, I think we are finally live after those hiccups. So, let's get the party started. Okay, as you're joining in, please share your name in the comments below. Let me know where you're watching in from, and keep asking questions as we go along. I love to have an interactive session where, I don't like just talking into the camera, though sometimes I tend to forget. Okay, so as we go, okay, so here's the thing. When you start an online business, you've started it with you started it to hello, can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Please share in the comments. Okay, Isis is here, Lisa is here. Hi Lisa, hi Linda. Thank you everyone who's joining in live. And there seems to be a delay between the time I am talking and the time you are seeing this. So I'm getting your comments a bit later, but keep them coming, okay? Keep the comments coming. And this is when we will officially start. So when you start an online business, you get into it with all the enthusiasm of wanting to go out and help the world, to help people, to turn your passions, your skills, your expertise into an online business. And the first thing you need to do is often go and set up a website, right? And that's when all hell breaks loose. You figure out that, oh my God, there's so much tech involved. Oh my God, there are so many options. And the more you learn about it, it feels like, damn, there's so much more to learn, right? I don't know about you, but I sure felt that way when I was starting out back in 2010 was when I created my first commercial website and started to learn about online marketing and stuff. And at that time I had a corporate job. My son was about 2 years old, and it was crazy trying to learn everything about online technology or about online marketing technology. Now I am a techie. I have been a techie since 1996. I did my bachelor's and master's in technology. So yes, I get tech. And even then, it was really difficult for me to get a grip on this whole online marketing thing, on this online business thing, okay? And that's the purpose of this talk, this tech talk, to make sure that that you don't drown in the tech, that you don't get overwhelmed with the tech, okay? Because you didn't start your business to learn, to spend 2 years just learning about technology and websites and those kind of things. You started your business to help people, right? To create more freedom and control and money in your own life while you do the work that you love, while you help other people. So let's get the tech out of the way so that you can actually go out and do the work that you were meant to do, okay? Let me quickly check the comments. Yes, it is a huge learning curve. Okay. I have a sippy bottle that I'm going to be drinking from periodically, so don't mind. I have a very dry throat. And let's move on to these slides. Okay, so today I'm going to follow this structure. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to give a quick introduction. Then I'm going to talk about the tools that it takes to build a website, because creating your website is the first bit of tech that you're going to have to deal with, and it is the largest piece of tech that you're going to have to deal with. Everything else, whether it's building an email list, booking clients, accepting payments, all of those things tie back to your website. So that's where we're going to start. What's the tech that's required to create a website? Okay. Then we're going to move on to the extra tech that you need to build an email list, then booking and tracking clients, accepting payments, because hey, you want to be able to be paid for your work easily, right? Then usually after people start off with one-on-one services, they want to be able to create a course or sell certain products. So I'm going to touch on that briefly. At the end, I'm going to talk about a very, very special offer that I have going on right now. And then we will open it up to Q&A. Now, when I'm talking about each of these topics, Feel free to post your comments in the comment box after each topic. Before I move on to the next one, I will come back and check the comments. Okay? And sorry, 1 minute. The weather out here is really freaky. One day we have temperatures of 40 degrees centigrade and the next day it's raining. So my throat is a bit itchy. Okay? Does that sound good to you guys? Give me a few hearts in the comments, please. Let me know that you're looking forward to this. Yes. Okay. So let's get to the next. Okay, a bit about me. My name is Richa Jain. I am a techie or an ex-techie. I used to be in semiconductor software for close to 13 years. I have a bachelor's, master's in tech and 2 tech patents. That's why we are having this conversation. That's why I'm talking to you about tech. But in 2014, I left my corporate job and I started my own business, helping other women turn their passion, their purpose, their skills, their expertise into a profitable online business. So I help women mostly in 2 ways. One, as a business strategist, mentoring them, telling them the right kind of strategies for their stage of business. And 2, as a web developer and techie. Because I often found that, when I told women just the strategy, they had trouble finding the right help going to execute that strategy. So I help women in 2 ways, strategy and web tech. Okay, I'm also a bit of a spiritual maverick. I'm a feisty, strong woman and I am a single mom. I strongly believe in turning your passion and purpose into a profit. A lot of women start their business saying that, I don't really care about the money, it doesn't matter how much it brings in. But if you're not paying attention to the money, then it's a hobby, it's not a business. Be clear on what you're running. Are you running a business or is it a hobby? Okay, so I believe these things come together. You have to be passionate about what you do. There has to be a bigger purpose to the work that you're doing, but you also have to be able to turn it into a profit. Only then is it a business. I strongly believe in keeping things simple. If you attend any of my other webinars or classes or boot camps, you know how strongly I believe in this. Keep things simple. The more you complicate it, the more time, effort and energy it takes. And who's got that really? Right? We're all pressed for time and energy. I believe in creating flow, not hustle. And I believe in building a business that's based on connection and service, not pushy sales, not that in-your-face sales and marketing stuff. Okay? So that was a quick bit about me. But we also have to make sure that this talk is going to be right for you. I am not going to bury you with a lot of jargon. Like I said, I believe in keeping things simple. So I'm going to tell you just the simplest tools and technology that you need to get your business started and to a stable state. Okay? Now, all of my work, including this talk, is targeted towards passion-based, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Women who are in business for more than just the money, right? And who want to take their work, their business online. If that sounds like you, please continue watching. If that doesn't sound like you, if you are in it just to make the money or your heart is not really in it, then there is no point, I think. Yes. Yep. You might as well drop off, no point in it. But if you are passionate about the work that you do, you're passionate about changing lives and helping other people, please do stay on. Okay, so this is where we start. Number 1, the first topic, making websites. What does it take to build a website? Now, 1 minute, yes, let me get some water. So people often think, when they think of websites, they think of a lot of code, they think about a lot of tech. But if you see this slide, it's tech is just one very small part of what it takes to create a winning website. A winning website, by my definition, is one that helps you sign up paying clients, right? So tech is just one small part of it, and yet that is where most people, most new entrepreneurs spend 99% of their time and energy. Just being afraid of the tech. Before you can create a winning website, you need clarity about what you stand for, who you're going to serve, how you're going to serve them. That you have to be very crystal clear about that. Then there's the design element, using design, graphics, etc. to create a certain flow on your website, to create a certain user experience. It's about writing the copy to get your message across so that people feel that instant connection when they come to your website. And then you have to take the photos of you. If you're a woman, a solopreneur in a service-based business, you have to have photos of you on the website. And then there's all this supporting graphics. And only after that comes the technology, right? So remember, the technology is just one part of creating your website. And I run a program called the Website Bootcamp where I handle all the tech for you. And then I support you through all these 5 other elements. And I'm saying that, to make you understand that technology is just the back end of your business. There is a lot of other stuff that goes into it. Okay, so this talk is about technology. So let's get into the technology behind your website. Now, like I said earlier, people just focus on the tech and treat it as some kind of boogie monster and put off creating their website for sometimes weeks, months, and even years. I had one lady on the Website Bootcamp who had been putting off her website for 3 years. She had been hiding behind that, oh my God, the tech is so difficult, it is impossible, I can't do it on my own, I can't hire someone else. And yet when she got onto the bootcamp, she had her website ready in 4 weeks. So we think of tech as the boogie monster. It isn't. Tech can be simplified. Okay. Now the first bit of tech you need, for your website is the domain name. Think of the domain name as your street address or a post office box. Okay, that's the link that people come to when they want to know more about your business. The second bit is a hosting plan. This is where the files, the images, etc. of your website reside. Now think of it a bit like your house, right? So you may have a street address, but it's an empty plot. You need to build the house there. That plot of land is your hosting. You have to go out and buy the hosting. Okay. In the next slides, I will talk about where to buy it from and what to look out for. But know that the hosting is like the plot of land where you build your house. Your house is the website, the hosting is the plot of land, and your domain name is your street address. That is the simplest way I can think of to explain this. So you will need a domain name, which is your URL. You will need a hosting plan. And after that, you will need a platform to create your website. Now the platform would be something like WordPress, Squarespace, or one of those. That is, think of it as the foundation to your house. Okay. Then the theme or the template. You will need, whichever platform you choose, you will need a theme or a template. Think of it a bit like the skin, or we used to have olden days, 10-15 years ago, we used to have these media players like VLC where you can go and change the skin or the look of it. That's where that came from. But a better way to understand your theme or template is like the coat of paint on your walls, on the walls of your house. Okay? And plugins are bits of software that extend the functionality of your website. Think of it as the appliances in your house. It's fine to have constructed the house and made the 4 walls and painted it, but you also need other things to make it functional. You need a TV, you need a refrigerator, you need a microwave, right? You need all of those gadgets and white goods. So those are the plugins. Then the integrations is hooking up your website with your email service provider and those kind of things. It's like telling your bank and your utility people, etc., that this is my new address, send the bills here, send the payments here, and things like that. Okay, so these are the 6 bits of tech it takes to create your website. Let's get into them a bit more. If you guys have any questions about this, please feel free to ask. Okay, choosing the right domain name. Again, please give me a minute before we go ahead. Yeah, I just removed the cover of the bottle and I'm drinking straight from it. My throat is really dry. Okay, choosing the right domain name. Now people agonize over this. I have personally spent I think over the course of my business, I've spent about 6 months agonizing about the right domain name to use, coming up with all kinds of fancy names and looking up their meaning in foreign languages and things like that. Don't do all of that. Don't spend so much time and energy trying to figure out the right domain name. If you are a solopreneur, if you are in a service-based business, if you are building a personal brand, if your business is you, then just use your name. Do not use fancy names like, if you use something like Reiki Healing, you know what's going to happen, reikihealing.com. What is going to happen over time, you will invariably grow your skills. You will, I don't know anyone who does just Reiki. Usually when someone does one thing, they often learn other modalities, like you will learn about crystals, you will learn about other kind of energetic healing practices and so on. And over time, over the next few years, you will want to add that to your services, right? So basically when you start a business in the first couple of years, it's in flux, things change. And if you choose a name that is very specific, like reikihealing.com, then you don't want to have to change your domain name and then tell the entire world that, hey, my domain name has changed, now come. It's like shifting your address, it's like shifting homes, right? It's a lot of redirection involved. Don't get into that. Just use your name so that as and when your business grows, you can just keep incorporating, adding stuff to your services without having to go back and redo your entire website, your tech, etc. Okay? So as far as possible, I recommend using your name when you are building a personal brand. Use .com over any other kind of extensions. Extensions are, what comes after the dot. So some people use, in Australia, for example, they use .com.au. That's the default for them. But if you are in America, then preferably use .com. Even if you're in India like me, use .com because that's what people remember the most easily. Do not use fancy extensions like .me, .ly, .kyc or anything like that, because it's difficult for people to remember. Always keep your domain name really, really simple. No special characters, no funky spellings, no hyphen. Make it easy for them to remember. Okay. Then comes the hosting part of it. Again, the mistake people make is they choose hosting plan. They either jump on the cheapest hosting plan or the most expensive hosting plan, thinking that, if it's expensive, it's got to be good. But you don't need an expensive hosting plan when you are just starting out. What you do need to look for in a hosting plan is, will it let you install the platform you want? For example, some hosting plans won't let you install WordPress. Does it have SSL security? Does it let you get email addresses along with it? What's the downtime on it? What kind of support do they provide? Do they have backups? These are the important things that you need to look for. Now, there are hundreds of hosting companies out there, but for those in the early stages of business, what I recommend is to go with SiteGround. Now, SiteGround is the one that I recommend for all the ladies in my website bootcamp. Most of them are on that. I am on SiteGround personally. Why? There are a couple of very important reasons. Now, you can get cheaper hosting. You can get $1 hosting. You can go with GoDaddy. There are people who've had good experiences with them. There are people who've not had good experiences with them. There are people who swear by Bluehost, and there are people who've had their site shut down by Bluehost. So I recommend a company called SiteGround. The reason is their support is excellent. They have 24/7 chat support or call support. You can call them and they will walk you through whatever it is you need, should you ever need anything with them. And if you move from any other hosting to theirs, they will migrate your website for free. And yes, SSL security and backups are included in all of their plans, and it starts at $3.95 only. That's $4 a month. Now, don't bother, you don't have to remember the name. Towards the end of this program, I will share a link where I have all of these resources set up for you. Or rather, let me just quickly show you that. 1 minute. right? Okay, so at the end of this talk, I will send you this link. Now this is a page on my website where I list all the resources from domain name hosting, marketing, creating websites, all the tools that you could need. They are all listed here with a description of what to use when and the links to them. Okay, so you don't need to jot this down during the talk. Just understand the stuff now, learn the terms, understand what it is for and how it can help you. Later on you can go to this link here and I will share this link with you and get all the names and all the tools. Okay, you don't need to do that right now. Let's get back to the webinar. Okay, so coming back to our slides. Now again, the thing to note while buying any hosting is that most of them, though they advertise a monthly rate, they charge you for the year. So just know that you will have to pay for a year upfront. Okay, the next step is the platform. Like I mentioned, these are just a few names of the platforms. There are hundreds of platforms out there and thousands of themes to choose from. Okay, now when I made my first commercial website back in 2010, I spent months researching website platforms and themes. I know people who even today will spend months just trying to find the right perfect theme for themselves. Do not do that. That's not worth the time and effort. The platform that I recommend is WordPress. Why? It's the most versatile and flexible platform for a business online. About 50% of the websites in the world today are made on WordPress and the remaining are split over the 100 other platforms, right? So that tells you, yes, WordPress is trusted. WordPress also gives you a blog. WordPress started off as a blogging platform and it is the world's best blogging platform. So you have that blog built in, which will come in really handy for your marketing. Besides that, WordPress has a very large supportive community and also hundreds of plugins for you to achieve any functionality you want. So my 2 cents would be, don't spend time researching these other platforms, just go with WordPress. Even if your friends tell you to go with Wix, Weebly or Squarespace. Now Wix and Weebly have free options and some people I know do use them. But here's the thing, the people that use Wix and Weebly will soon find, within 6 months or a year, that the platform is very limited. It doesn't let them do what they need to, what they want to in order to grow their business. And so they put in, 6 months of effort trying to learn Wix and Weebly, and then they have to move to WordPress, which is like learning a new language all over again. So first they spend 6 months learning this language and then they have to switch to this. Don't do that. There are people who say that WordPress is easier than Wix or Weebly, but there are people who say it's more difficult. Completely your call, but just start with WordPress. And again, I do that in my website bootcamp. I install WordPress and everything else for you in the website bootcamp, so you don't even have to bother about that part of the tech. So stick with WordPress, and if you'd like the installations done for you, I have a website in a box that comes at $97, and my website bootcamp is also coming up starting 3rd of April. Think about that. Don't bother spending weeks and months just learning how to install WordPress. Okay. Now again, there are thousands of themes to choose from. My favorite is Divi, and here's why. Now when you're choosing a theme, you have to make sure that you are able to customize it, that you're able to change the pages and stuff to look like what you want in your business. You have to make sure that the layouts are customizable again, that it is scalable, so when you want to add new pages, grow your business, you can do that. That it is responsive, which means that it looks good on a mobile device, and that it supports the plugins that you need. We will talk about plugins in the next slide, etc. There are a lot of things that you have to pay attention to, and many of the free themes don't do this stuff. They are not easily customizable, etc., etc. Again, people end up choosing free themes and then find 6 months later that they have to move over to something better. So I just recommend starting with Divi itself, because Divi is currently the world's best drag and drop theme, where you can easily, you don't have to learn how to write code, you don't have to learn, integrate 20,000 things. Divi has it all, from text modules to video modules to testimonial modules. Everything is there, and all you have to do is click, drop, drag, and just type in. It's very, very easy. That's also the reason why I use Divi in my website bootcamp. So I install the website. So in my website bootcamp, like I said, I actually handle all the tech for you. I install a website in a box, which is WordPress, Divi, all the plugins, all the pages you could need. I install them for you and then hold your hand through the customization, right? So you don't have to bother about the tech. What you do get to pay attention to is that making sure that your website reflects you and speaks to your audience, right? I want to make sure that the tech is not a barrier. Now, the next thing on the agenda is the plugins. Now, I love this image because it kind of, shows you how plugins work. You just plug them in. So a plugin is a piece of software that helps you extend the functionality of WordPress or whichever platform you're using, right? Now, my favorite plugins are the ones that I think you must have and that I include in my website in a box are the duplicate page plugin. So if you like the layout of one page, you just copy it over to another page and you can go in and customize it. You don't have to start from scratch when you're creating your pages. Google Analytics to help you track the traffic to your web pages so that you can make informed decisions about how much traffic is coming to your landing page, to your home page, to your about page, etc. Yoast SEO to help you see how you rank on SEO. iTheme Security, of course, to keep your website safe and maintain regular automated backups of your site. An opt-in plugin to create landing pages, etc. We will talk more about opt-ins in the later slide. And a social share plugin so that people can easily share your blog post, your pages, and so on. Okay. Hey, sorry, any questions so far? I haven't been looking at the questions. Let me just do a quick check. Okay. Just hang on, let me read through these questions a minute. Yes, Tia says, a lot of people I know went with Wix and they regretted it later. I'm definitely a WordPress girl. Yay! More WordPress love. I absolutely love WordPress. Isis says, I went from Wix to Weebly and finally gave up. WordPress is where it's at. Exactly. And she also says, the website in a box is so awesome. So Isis is on my website bootcamp. She's had the website in a box installed for her and she already knows how easy that makes things for her. Okay. Lindsay asks, what about Squarespace? How is that? Lindsay, Squarespace is, well, some people find it easy or some people like it. There are always people who like something versus the other. But Squarespace is not a blogging platform. So if blogging is going to be part of your marketing strategy, no. Squarespace is also not that good for SEO. And Squarespace, last I checked, I'm forgetting, it was around $20 or so a month. You have to pay $20 or $30 a month as long as you want to keep your Squarespace site up. That way WordPress works out cheaper as well. Plus in WordPress, you own your stuff, right? You own your files, etc. With Squarespace, it's all on their platform. So anything happens to Squarespace, you're gone. Okay. Okay, Isa says, the plugin picture is hilarious. Yes, it is. I love it too. Hey, who said tech has to be dull and dry and I have to use techie images, right? That's what, part of my work is also to make the text simpler and easier to understand. A lot of people get overwhelmed with the tech. Now, in these slides, I've used a lot of terms. I have given you a lot of overview and stuff. But like when I was explaining domains and hosting, if you think of it like your house, if you think of building a website just like you would build your house, it makes it so much easier to understand and go ahead with, right? You don't have to be overwhelmed. Now we do have a time constraint in this, that's why I'm going through these things faster. I've already done half an hour and I want to be able to wrap it up in the next half an hour. So I'm not going through every single detail of these tools. But yes, the links to all of the plugins, all of the other resources that I am talking about are there on the page that I showed you, and I will share the link to that page. It is free. You can just go over and read through that at any time to get a refresher on what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is the integrations. Now, integrations, like I said, is telling your bank or telling your utility services where you live. It's telling them your address. It's connecting them so that your bills get delivered to your house, your checks get delivered to your house, and things like that. So that is the same with integrations that happen on your website. You have to integrate your website to your email list or opt-in. Okay, you have to hook them up. You have to connect if you would like people to be able to, sign up to your email list from your website, that is, which of course you do. Okay, you also, if you want people to be able to book, schedule calls with you, right? You want to have a calendar linked into your, or connected with, integrated with your website. You also want, most people, most businesses would want that. And you would also want to be able to take payments from your website. So if someone wants to book a call with you, or say book a healing session with you, they go select a spot on your calendar, then they go and pay, and voila, it's all automated, right? That's amazing to have. That's incredible to have, right? I remember the old school way of doing things is where you would send them an email or send them a couple of messages. Does Monday 5 p.m. my time work for you? Oh, Monday 5 p.m. my time is 10 p.m. your time. Does that work? Okay, can you do Tuesday? Can you do this time? Can you do 3 a.m.? You would have 10 messages or 10 emails back and forth just to figure out the time, especially when you work across time zones. And hey, I don't know about you, but I definitely want my business to grow, to be global. It is, and I would have it no other way. If you're online, if you're in the online business space, there's no point in being small and local. You want your business to be global. And when you want to scale and be global, you have to have things like your scheduler, your gate payments, etc. integrated onto your website. Okay. Now in the next slides, I will talk about each of these in more detail. Now we have completed the section about websites per se, about building your website per se. The rest of the tech is about doing all of this in order to grow your business. Any questions on the website part so far? Okay, let me hop over to the comment box. Lindsay says that she has Wix for one of her sites, but I'm open to new things for sure. Hey, Lindsay, just move to WordPress. I think everyone who's on WordPress will tell you just move to WordPress. Once you learn WordPress, your site, you will be good for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, because it's like learning a language. When you learn Wix or Squarespace or Weebly or any other language, I can bet that 6 months, max 1 year down the line, you will have to switch to WordPress and learn WordPress. So just start with learning WordPress. Now I teach more about that in my website bootcamp. So you do not have to learn WordPress alone. You do not have to learn all about WordPress and Divi, etc. alone. Check out my website bootcamp. I will share a link at the end of this call. Okay, check out my website bootcamp. Isis says, yeah, WordPress is so much nicer. Totally. Okay, so any more questions about websites, pop them here, and I'm going to move on to the next section, which is about your email list. Let me just... I feel it's a bit embarrassing to be drinking so much water, but sorry, I have a dry throat. Really, really dry. Okay, so this is the next part of things, building your email list. Now, I've seen a lot of people get confused about this part of things, because there's a lot of jargon out there. There's a lot of conflicting jargon and conflicting advice out there. Okay, now I want you to remember that when it comes to building your email list, there is something like this on your website. You put up some form like this one on your website where people can give their name and their email address, and then you send them a freebie, right? That's called opt-in or freebie, or it is also at times called landing page or a lead magnet. There are many terms for it. So this kind of thing that you put on your website to collect names and email addresses is just the front end of it. Okay, that's the part that goes on your website. It's the front end. The back end of it would be something like MailChimp or MailerLite, where you're actually storing the email addresses and sending them out mails, sending out the actual emails, right? So remember, there's two parts, the front end and the back end. The front end is what goes on your website, which could be in three ways: an embedded opt-in, a pop-up, or a separate landing page. I will show you what each of these looks like in the next slides. So this, remember the front end, and to create the front end where you can get a box like this on your website, you need a few plugins. Okay, my favorite is the Bloom plugin, which comes along with TV or is from Elegant Themes, and that I install as part of my website in a box. Other popular plugins are Pop-Up Alley and SumoMe. Both have paid as well as free options. It's just that the functionality differs. Okay, and when you use, and depending on which email service provider you're using or internet marketing service provider you're using, MailerLite, MailChimp, etc., they also have their own plugins which you can use to create embedded opt-in, a pop-up, or a landing page. Okay, any questions on this part? This is the front end, and there are three types of opt-ins that you can have, right? An embedded opt-in is one that comes on your web page in the middle of some content. Like this is a screenshot, this is a screenshot from one of my pages where I have some text, where I have a longish article, and in the middle of that article there is this an embedded opt-in where people can give their name and email address. Okay, so this is called an embedded opt-in. The other type is a pop-up that pops up on your site, say after 20 seconds or some kind of activity. Okay, I prefer some people keep their pop-ups scheduled for immediate. I prefer keeping a time delay so that people get to read through your site before the pop-up comes in. But the basis is the same. You ask for their name and you ask for their email, and once they sign up, they get onto your email list and you have to send them that freebie. The third is a landing page, which is a dedicated page on your website that has nothing else but the sign up for my page. Okay, so three kind of opt-ins: embedded, pop-up, and a dedicated landing page. Now again, I've put this here explicitly so that you remember this landing pages are also called lead pages. Okay, do not confuse that with a company called leadpages.co, who will let you create a landing page on their website and give you a whole lot of statistics about it. You can easily create your landing page in WordPress. You can use WordPress plus DB, you can use WordPress plus Bloom. You can easily create this on your website. And yes, it's also a part of my website in a box. When I install the website in a box for you, you get the landing pages, etc., etc., all installed for you. Okay, so remember, Lead Pages is a pretty pricey service. You do not need to sign up for it in the early stages of business until you have traffic like 1,000 visitors a day. Okay, when you really need those stats. Till then, just stick to creating your landing page on WordPress. Okay, also remember that opt-ins are also called lead magnets or freebies. Earlier on they were called lead magnets, and that's why the term lead pages became popular, but these days most people call it landing page. Okay, so don't get confused by the terminology. You do not need an expensive account with leadpages.co. Any questions on this part? Okay, Isis asks, is it better to do your landing page on your website or through your mailing list? So mailing list is the second part of it. Okay, I will show you that. Let's talk about the next part of your of your opt-in. So we've spoken about the front end of your opt-in, which can be an embedded, a pop-up, or a landing page, right? The back end, where your list is stored, is Service providers like MailChimp, MailerLite, ConvertKit, GetResponse. Again, there are so many options for you to choose from. Okay, this is where your email list is actually stored, from where you will send out email campaigns to your audience once they sign up with you, and where you can see stats like how many people opened your email, how many subscribed, unsubscribed, those kind of things. Now, in the early stages of business, if you're not yet at the 6-figure mark, just stick with MailChimp or MailerLite. They have free options available that you can use. MailChimp has a free option up to 2,000 subscribers. MailerLite has a free option to 1,000 subscribers. Okay, all of these have paid programs only, and in my humble opinion, you do not need the complexities that they provide when you are just starting out in business. So just stick with one of these two options. Now, MailChimp used to be the darling of the industry for like 10 years, for the last 10 years or so. But in recent year, MailerLite is taking over. Though its free plan is only till 1,000 subscribers, their user interface is much more easier to use for a newbie. Things are drag and drop. It's much easier to see what's happening. And their automation in their free plan is also much better than MailChimp. So I would recommend, if you're just starting out, use MailerLite, use MailerLite's free plan. Okay, links to these are in the document I showed you earlier. You will get the link to it later on, so you don't need to keep track. Now, MailChimp, MailerLite, etc., they also have plugins that you can integrate to your WordPress site and use it to create your pop-up or embedded opt-in, right? They will also let you create a landing page on MailChimp itself or on MailerLite itself, and you can very well use that. It may be depending on how comfortable you are with tech, it may be a bit easier than creating a landing page on WordPress. But hey, honestly, you know what? Honestly, creating a landing page on WordPress is really easy, especially if you are using Divi. Okay, if you're using the Divi theme. So my 2 cents would be to keep your landing pages on WordPress with Divi. Why? Because that increases traffic to your site. And if you've installed a Facebook pixel on your site, when you get to the stage where you want to be using Facebook ads, driving traffic to your site where the Facebook pixel is installed helps build things for you, right? When you send people to a landing page on MailChimp or MailerLite or ConvertKit, that is not traffic to your site. And while you may get ConvertKit, etc., will help you get better stats when you use their landing page on their platform, but you don't need that right now. So I would say use MailChimp or MailerLite for the backend and use WordPress plus Divi plus Bloom for the front end, that's creating the actual landing pages. Isis, I hope that answers your questions. Yes. Okay. Any questions about the opt-in? Opt-ins are also called lead magnets or freebies. Okay. And landing pages are simple pages that you can make on WordPress itself, and I recommend you stay on WordPress rather than create it on any of these platforms. Any questions? Let me get another sip. Okay, don't seem to have any questions coming in right now. I will check back later. So we talked about your website, we talked about opt-ins, that is having people sign up for your freebie. And the next part is about being able to book clients, to take bookings and track clients online, right? Now the best way to do that, again, there are many calendar scheduler systems available in the market. I use Acuity, I've been using them for years, and I recommend Acuity to all of my clients. Why? Because again, of all the calendar or scheduling systems out there, it has the simplest and easiest to use interface. Their free plan, they have a free plan where you can their free plan lets you do pretty much what you might need to do as a newbie. And their paid plan, which also lets you accept payments and send reminders and have forms and do all kinds of complicated stuff, also starts, I think last I checked, it was about $10 or $15 a month, right? So not only I mean, if you're starting out, you can just play with the free version of Acuity for, until you get a considerable client turnover. And it will let you seamlessly book across time zones. You can go in, set a calendar that you want to accept clients, or you want clients to be able to book only 10 a.m. to 12 noon, or only 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. You can go in and set your available hours. So you can go and create different kinds of appointment types. For example, I have different appointment types for my website work and for my mentoring work. And people can go and, I can share the appropriate link with them, and they can go and schedule a mentoring call or a website call with me, right? So it makes it really, really easy. And you can put the time, if you mark the client can go and choose their own time zones, so they will see the time in their time zone. And when you get the notification, you will see the time in your time zone. So I love that it handles the time zone conversion for you. Okay. And forms, reminders, payments are in their paid version, not in their free version, but their free version pretty much does everything you would need in the early stages of business. And even their paid version is not very expensive. So my vote for the best online calendar goes to Acuity. Okay. So now that they've booked a call with you, how do you conduct that call? Now, people used to use Skype earlier on. I used to use Skype earlier on, but then I found that Skype calls would drop and the quality wasn't as clear. Now I use zoom.us, and again, this is what I recommend in my website bootcamp and to all my clients. Zoom.us has a free option that you can pretty much use for everything. Okay. When you want to go fancy, as in when you want to have multiple people, so the free version lets you have conversations with up to 2 people, indefinite, and it will also record the calls for you, as in you can choose to record the calls, you can choose to share your screen, you can share your screen while a photo of you is still on, you can interview people, you can do all of that in the free version. But when you want to have more than 3 people on a call, the free version limits you to 40 minutes. If you want calls more than that, you have to pay their monthly plan. I think it starts at $15 right now, $15 a month, which is pretty good. So if you're holding a lot of group classes, etc., you might want to upgrade to the $15 a month option. But otherwise, if it's just 2 people on the calls, on your calls, the client and you can continue with the free version forever almost. Okay, so to be able to book client calls and to conduct them, those are the 2 tools you need, Acuity and Zoom. Any question on this, ladies? Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing is accepting payments. Now, the easiest way to accept a payment online without having to go to a bank and ask them to give you some kind of special software, etc., is to use PayPal. The good thing about using PayPal is that it is the most popular online platform to transfer money across countries. So if you have a lot of international clients, PayPal is your best bet. They do charge, depending on where your location and the type of transaction, they do charge anywhere between 2.5 to 5% of the transaction. Okay, it does cost you, but it is the most widely accepted. And for me in India, I don't have any other options available. I can't use Stripe or Squarespace or Square or any of these. PayPal is the only option available to me. So PayPal is the most widely available thing globally. Other options for those of you based in the US or Europe are Stripe and Square. Okay, now both of these, they do charge a percentage. The percentage differs depending on which country you are in, and there will also be some amount of difference based on your currency, what's that called, conversion. But these are other options. I know people who love Stripe and who love Square because their charges are marginally lower than PayPal. Plus, if I remember right, the owner of PayPal indulged in some, I think he supported Trump and indulged in some other activities, and people stopped supporting PayPal or using PayPal after that. But like me, if you don't have an option, PayPal is the way to go. So these are the three most common options. These two are mostly used in Europe and America. And the fourth option is a bit more complicated. For these three, you just have to go and create an account online, right? You just have to sign up with them. When you sign up with PayPal, you'll get a paypal.me link, or you can go and create, so say some program of yours costs $97, you can go and create a button for that and grab the link, insert that link into your website or share that on your Acuity. So Acuity would integrate seamlessly with PayPal. Okay, so with PayPal it's really easy. But when you want to create a bank or a merchant account, that is, be able to accept credit card payments directly on your site without using one of these as a go-between. For those of you who have volumes high enough to justify, to not want to be able to pay that 3% or 4% transaction fee, and to justify the extra paperwork it takes to be able to go to your bank to get them to grant you a merchant account. Every bank has their own paperwork requirements, and get you that piece of software, etc., that you can plug into your website to accept credit card payments directly into your bank account. Okay. The other thing to note is that with all of these, depending on your location and their rules, they might take a day or 2 days or a week to transfer money from your account to your bank account. Okay. For example, my PayPal transfers everything from my PayPal account to my bank account within 24 hours. In some other countries, the rules are different. But I believe in the US, it's again an instant or 24-hour transfer. Okay. So these are the tools that you would use to accept payments. Any questions about these? With each of these tools, if you want to accept a specific denomination payment, like $97 for a product, you can go and create a button, grab the link, put it on your website. Thank you for clarifying that, Isis. So PayPal is no longer owned by the guy who supported Trump. Yay! Okay. The next most common question I get asked about tech is about creating a course. So many of us start our business wanting to create passive income. And when you say passive income, you think immediately course. You want to create an online course that people can just buy, videos get sent to them, and you make passive income. Well, it takes a bit more than that. It's not truly passive income. You have to do a lot of marketing for people to buy your course, but that's a whole other topic. Right now, let's talk about creating your course. Now, okay, there's one thing you forgot to put in your website. Creating a course would mean there are two parts to creating a course. One is creating the actual videos, and the second part is sending them out to people. Now, I forgot to, include the part about how to create the videos. The easiest way to create the videos is, like I am doing, create the slides and use Zoom, the tool that I mentioned earlier for having conversations with clients. Use Zoom to record you talking over the slides with a photo of you at the top here, the way I am doing right now, right? You see the slides and you see a photo of me up here. So you can use Zoom similarly to record you presenting over slides with that video of you. I always recommend having a video of you along with the slides so that people get to see you, to interact with you, to know you, right? Because you're building a personal brand. If this were an impersonal corporate presentation, I won't have my video up there. But I want you to know that you're talking to a real live person, that I am here to answer your questions. And when you want that level of personal connection, I always recommend having your video at the top, right? So you can use Zoom, the free version of Zoom also, to record your videos, record over the slides. Now, some iPhones have great cameras and audio, so if you have an iPhone or a Mac, you don't need extra hardware. But if you have an average PC or a laptop whose camera is not that good, then I recommend the Logitech HD Cam. I think it's number 1920. Again, that's on the list, so you can check it out later, or some kind of microphone along with it. Okay. Now, that was about creating the course. How do you send it out to people? Right? The simplest way to do that, again, don't go for complicated, keep it simple. I know people who invested someone who invested $30,000 in getting a professional videographer to shoot her course videos, 5 videos, and paying for someone to professionally create a platform for her to host those videos and send them out to people. $30,000. And she sold 2 copies of that course. You don't want to be like that person. I recommend when you're starting out, when it's your first course, keep it really simple. Do not buy extra, don't try to host your course on your website. I keep telling people to do everything on your website, but your course is the exception to that rule. Do not host your course on your website. Do not buy a course plugin and put that into your website, because that will mean you have to go and buy more hosting. You need to maintain the login information, blah 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 blah. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Okay, so do not host your course on your website. Instead, do this. The simplest way, if this is your first course, is to upload the videos to YouTube. Keep them private so that only people who have the link can see them. Create an email list on MailChimp or MailerLite, whatever it is you're using, with the students who've signed up for your course, and send them emails with the links to your YouTube video as the course. This is the simplest way to do it. You do not need complex technology to deliver your course, right? Simplest way. You don't have to go create 100 logins. You don't have to go and send people the password, etc., etc. You can just do it this way. Now, if you want to do it in a bit more organized, systematic, and savvy manner, a bit more professional, right? This is the next method. Use a platform like Teachable. Now, I recommend Teachable. I use it myself, and again, that's what I recommend to my clients because of their ease of use. There are other platforms out there like thinkific.com or udemy.com, etc., where you can host your course. But in my experience, Teachable gives you the easiest interface and the best bang for your buck. Okay, so you would go and create a school on Teachable. You would upload your videos onto Teachable, and they will give you it will help you create a sales page for your course. So you can send people to that sales page. They will click on the buy now button. They will pay. That payment will go to Teachable. And Teachable, depending on what plan you are on, Teachable will deduct a percentage of each sale. Okay, so if you're on their free plan, Teachable will take 10% of every course sale. If you are on their next level plan, I'm forgetting, it's $30 or $40, something like that, Teachable takes per month. Okay, I'm forgetting the exact numbers right now, but I think paying them a percentage for your first course is a much better way to start, right? So if your first course is $97, you don't want to spend $500 in buying a plugin, putting it on your website, then buying another $500 of hosting, and then hiring someone to help you figure out how to do all of that. You don't want to do that. Instead, go and create a course on Teachable for free, and only once people sign up, right? Only once you start making sales do you have to pay anything. You'll pay 10% of the sale. Teachable will deduct that 10% and then transfer the rest of the money over to you, right? So it's the easiest way to get started, and they handle all the student info for you, things like creating username password for people, or what happens if someone forgets their login. It will also help you track their progress. Okay, this person has watched this many videos, etc., etc. So you have that platform available to you for free, right? All you have to do is pay 10% of the sale. And I would rather pay that 10% of the sale when I'm in the early days. If it's your first course, pay that 10% of the sale rather than spending $1,000 upfront on buying hosting and plugins, etc., when you don't even know how much money your course is going to make. Okay, so even though I'm beyond that stage now, I still use Teachable to host all of my courses. I know a lot of multi-million-dollar internet marketing people who host on Teachable. So I'm like, you know what, it's perfect. It means that I won't have to migrate later on. I can start, it's scalable. I can start with the free plan. I've moved on to the next level business plan now. I started with the free plan. I've moved on to the next level business plan now. And I know that Teachable will scale with me when I get to the stage where I have thousands of people signing up for my program, right? So, any questions on this, people? Okay. Okay. So I got some of these comments. I'm not sure. Is this, what were you so astonished about? Is this me streaming from Zoom? No. I still haven't. From Zoom, if you want to stream to Facebook Live, you have to sign up for their webinar options, which is $50 or so a month. Okay. So the free version of it, or even their $15 a month program, will not let you stream live to Zoom, but their webinar option will let you live stream to Zoom, like live stream to Facebook like this. Okay. So okay, any other questions, ladies, about creating your course? If not, let's move on to the next part. Okay, so that wraps up all the tech info I wanted to give you or share with you. That's as much of the tech as you need in the early stages of business. Those are the tools. Now remember this, that for every single of the topics or the tech areas that I've spoken about, there are hundreds of options out there, and you will find people who swear by their favorite option. Like with the WordPress versus Wix or Weebly thing, right? There are people who swear by Wix, there are people who swear by WordPress. Now you could go in and try to do all your research yourself, or decide that you're going to go with the minority and stick with Wix, but sooner or later you will have to change. So same thing holds for all the other tools out here. I have told you the best tools that I have found I have specially curated, not just found, but I have specially curated over the last 10 years of studying online tech marketing or online marketing tech, right? There are other options to Teachable, there are other options to Acuity, but in my experience, in my opinion, these are the best for you in the early stages of your business. Until you get to the level where you're making multiple six figures, or you have 1,000 people a day visiting your website, etc. That is the point where you should go on search for the next level of tools. But right now, instead of spending time researching Infusionsoft and WP Engine and all of those other things, just stick with these. Trust me when I say these are the best tools you could be using for right now in your business. Start with these, okay? And the links for you, again, I will post them I will go back and edit the FB Live description so that these links are easily available to you. This is the link which has the names and links to all of these tools, okay? It's my ultimate resource list. This has all of the tools I talked about, which tool you should use when and why. All of that is there. Now, like I said when we started out, creating your website is the first big tech task. So if you would like help with that, I have a free masterclass on how to create your own website. Those 6 steps to creating your website, clarity, design, copy, etc. I walk you through each of those. What do you need to know when you're DIYing your own brand or creating your own branding, writing your own copy, etc. I talk about all of that in this masterclass. Okay. I also have another free webinar where I talk about using graphics, photos, and design elements to create an impact, to turn your visitors into clients. Okay, so you can also catch this webinar, this free webinar, and over here I have a bunch of other free guides from SEO to other business resources. Go check out these links later on, sign up for whatever you need. Okay. Now all of that said, we covered a lot of ground in this 1 hour. I know I've been going on and on. Thank you for staying with me this long. But we've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about a lot of the tech. A heck lot. This is information curated over the last 10 years. And it's difficult for someone to pick or to learn all of this by themselves. Okay, so I want to make a very, very special offer. I am starting the next live round of my website bootcamp. It starts on 3rd of April, and in the website bootcamp, I handle all the tech it takes for you to create your website. Okay, there's a website in a box, which means I install WordPress plus DV plus close to 30 pages in 4 gorgeous styles. Now Isis has seen this, and she's part of my website bootcamp. So I install all of the tech for you. I do all of the tech heavy lifting for you. And over 4 weeks, through how-to videos and live group coaching calls, I walk you through every step of creating your own brand, writing your own copy, going in and personalizing all of those pages, creating your activity account or creating your scheduling account, doing things with, and integrating your calendar, your PayPal, your email service provider, integrating all of that with your website. So effectively, all the tech tools that we talked about in this slide, in this presentation, I show you how to create accounts with them and how to integrate them with your website and how to start using them. I could have called it the Tech Bootcamp, but I am sure if I called it the Tech Bootcamp, no one would have signed up because everyone is afraid of the tech. So I called it the Website Bootcamp, and yes, I help you create your website, but more than just create your website, I help you become friends with the tech to get over the overwhelm that tech normally brings, and instead be able to focus on the right parts of growing your business, right? Getting your message right, getting your copy right, getting your branding right, connecting with your clients, making sure that they can sign up and pay you. That is what we do in the Website Bootcamp. So if you'd like to join, we have a live round coming up. It starts on the 3rd of April, and I'm running a special early bird only till 11:58 p.m. Pacific time, 20th March. That's another 1 or 2 days, depending, another 48 hours or so. Okay. The special early bird price, you can pay 3 installments of $147 or 1 payment of $397. All the details about the bootcamp are up here at this link. 1 minute. 1 minute. Let me also show you. Okay, can you see this site? Or is it? Yeah. So this is the website bootcamp page. It has all the details of the bootcamp. And my computer decided to hang. Just a minute. 1 minute. So while this page is still loading, I think my computer decided it was too much to stream everything all together. Okay, so it starts on 3rd of April. It's a 4-week program where I will install the website in a box for you and hold your hand through all of the changes, all of the personalization, all of the customization. Okay, it has 3 components that I've already spoken to you about, but what I wanted to really show you, these are the designs or the pages that I installed for you. There are links out here, you can go and see them. Okay, you can go and check out what the pages would look like. You can choose, once I install these pages, you can choose that, you know what, you like this design of the work with me page and this design of the about page, and you can go in and change them however you like. But more than that, when you come to this page, I want you to see all of these videos. These are from past participants of the bootcamp. Go through what their experience was. Almost every single one of them started off as a technophobe, as a self-proclaimed technophobe. They said that there's no way they could get a website up in a few weeks. They said that they just don't understand the tech. They said that, you know what, it's not possible. And yet each of them, each of the ladies here that you see, they had a website up in a few weeks. And not just any website, but gorgeous, elegant websites that help them sign up paying clients. Okay. So go ahead and take a look. There are a bunch of case studies there. Go ahead and take a look through. There are the most frequently asked questions. And if you have any doubts, any questions, feel free to send me a private message on Facebook. The reason I'm telling you about all of this is, hey, I just shared a lot of tech with you, right? And it's easy to get overwhelmed with that. It is easy to get caught up in how to configure equity or how to use Canva or how to use MailChimp, etc. You could do it all on your own. There are free YouTube tutorials for just about everything that I've talked about, okay? But when you do it on your own, I've seen women go through a lot of heartache. A, it would take them 6 to 8 months to learn all of that. And B, there is a lot of heartache. If you spend so much time just getting the basic technology up for your business, instead of being able to work with clients, instead of being able to make the impact you want, it can be really, really, really frustrating. So instead, take the easy way. Do the website bootcamp. I do all the tech heavy lifting for you. And then I help you integrate it all. I help you personalize it, integrate it. And I have 2 live calls every week, which means 8 calls total over the course of 4 weeks. 8 live calls for you to ask me any kind of questions and get help on whatever part of your website or integrations you're stuck with. It doesn't get any easier, it doesn't get any better. Okay? And I'm not saying that just because it's my own program, but because I've done the research, I've seen all of the other programs out there. There are programs that will teach you just the tech part of it. There are programs that will teach you just the email or just the opt-in part of it. There are programs that will teach you just the copywriting part of it. But hey, who's got time to go and do 10 different programs? You don't want to turn into a professional copywriter. You don't want to turn into a professional techie. You need to know only as much as is required to build and grow your business. And that's what I help you do in the website bootcamp. So think about it. Think about whether you would like that kind of support, and feel free to message me if you have any questions. And yes, is my screen flickering for you? Okay. And if you have any questions, I'm going to be online for a while. So ask questions in the comments. Right now, I'm online for another 10-15 minutes. Any questions about the technology part that we have spoken about, or any questions about the website bootcamp, post in the comments. I'm going through them right now. Yeah, Lisa says she's been talking about doing her website someday for years. Isis shares that she's done the full setup on her own for a WordPress website and it takes forever. Yes, in the first round of the website bootcamp, I taught the women how to install WordPress themselves, which plugins to take, and how to install the plugins themselves. And I found that some spend just 3 or 4 weeks just doing the installs. And I realized, you know what? Installations are a one-time job. You don't need to be doing that over and over again. Why should they have to learn about it? And that's why I created the website in a box, which is I have created a website with all of those installs, with all of those pages. And when you sign up for the bootcamp, I duplicate my website onto yours. Right? So that you don't have to bother about those installs. Yes, exactly. It makes it all happen at once in one go. You do not need to spend hours and weeks learning about installs, because you're only going to do them once in your life, or once in the lifetime of your website. Okay. Any other question, ladies? Oh. Yes, Sherry. You have to, when you're running an online business, you will have to learn all of these tools sooner or later. Okay? And like I said, you can choose to learn that by yourself. Absolutely no issue. There is a ton of free material available. In the website bootcamp, however, I hold your hand through it all. I support you. And when you look through those, when you go back and watch those videos, that support makes all the difference, because you know which parts to focus on and which not to. I hold you accountable. When you're spending 5 days on one web page, I pull you back. We create 7 web pages in 4 weeks. Not just 7 web pages. You do your branding, you create all of your branding, you write all of your copy, you create all of the pages, you integrate it with your calendar and payment system or whatever. By the end of 4 weeks, your website will be ready. But you have to keep pace with me, right? I run a tight ship. Okay, so any questions? Okay, Shari says, I've got an iPhone and a broken Dell laptop. Is your laptop still functional? Can you see things on the screen? Can you type things? Can you use the mouse? And does the CPU have enough power? Right? If it's 20-year-old, the CPU may not have enough processing power to edit your images and stuff. But if it's within 5 to 7 years old even, it will have enough processing power and you're good. You don't have to hide behind it. I know Isis used a small red laptop for the longest time, and I have a Dell laptop that I've been using for, it's now 4.5 years old. Okay, and I run my entire business from it. I design client websites from this laptop. So an old laptop is good enough. You do not need the latest Mac. You do not need the latest laptop to be able to create this, right? Okay, next thing is the biggest benefit. Isis says the biggest benefit of the bootcamp is being able to make changes to your website later on. Yes, exactly. You learn everything. You learn how to do everything yourself. So you can go back and anytime, 6 months later when you are changing your services or upgrading your services, you know exactly what you need to do. Or even 1 month later when you decide that you want to go back and upgrade your prices, you want to move from 97 to 297, you know exactly where to go and how to change it. You don't have to hire someone to make that change for you. I think it's really, really important for people to be in full control of their website because it's your online home. Would you hand over control of your home to a third party, to someone else? You wouldn't. Why would you hand over control of your website to a developer or a third party? You need to be in control of your website. And that's why I think it's important for you to learn all of this. Okay, Sherry says broken mother drive. Okay, then I can't really. Have you thought of using an external hard drive? You get pretty nifty, pretty good external hard drives. Okay. Okay, ladies, we have gone way over time, way over the 1 hour I had budgeted. I hope this gives you a good perspective, a good understanding of the kind of tech you need to start and grow your online business. Like I said, I will be sharing these resources. 1 minute. I will be sending you these links, or rather I will post them in this Facebook Live. So you can get the links, all of the links here, okay? And you can sign up for these extra free webinars or free guides, whatever you need help with. The tech is just a small part of your business. Do not spend so much time and energy on the tech that you forget or that you do not have enough time for your core business. Remember that. If you have any questions about what we talked about or about the website bootcamp, feel free to send me a personal message on Facebook. Okay? Thanks for joining me live. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. You have a good day or a good night depending on wherever you are.